There is a blockchain that probably is the most hyped blockchain when it comes to DeFi, and I'm talking about Arbitrum. And the main reason is because from one side, they are not having yet a token, so many people are using it for the simple reason they are hoping to receive an airdrop. And yes, that's a good strategy, something that also in this channel we have been talking about in the last whole year. But on the other side is also because we are seeing many DeFi protocols joining the Arbitrum ecosystem and pushing, developing something that is pretty cool. But there is a question that I'm receiving a lot of times, and it is, should I invest in the protocols of the Arbitrum ecosystem because they are growing, they are pretty cool, or it is better to look for something else? And this is something that is pretty delicate because, as you will see, the answer is not for granted. It's also quite important to understand which are the reasons for the yes and which are the reasons for the no. And we'll discuss about it just in a moment. Let me say that this channel is about educational content and nothing has to be intended as financial advice. If you want to invest in anything, that's fine, but we'll always do research before. And guys, don't forget to leave us a big thumbs up and drop a comment into the comment section below. And if you want to discover more about what we do, check out also our links where you can find our weekly newsletter with different kind of deepening about the different topics of DeFi, cryptos, and so on. Okay, guys, let's start immediately. I want to start with the TVL because the TVL of Arbitrum has been literally insane. After this insane spike in 2021 at the end of the year, and that was the period where everyone was talking about Arbitrum, it was just launching, just use it because a big airdrop will come and so on. After that, it looks like that for a while nobody was caring anymore about Arbitrum. That's also the reason why we have seen from this big spike at 2.6 billion total value locked to just not even about half a billion. Right now is growing again, and as you can see, this kind of growth has been much more consistent since July of the last year. And it is a growth that is not just due to the last month of spike that we have seen into the price. Because remember also, in the moment when you are checking these charts, you have to remember that these numbers are in dollar. And obviously, if the value of Ethereum and all the assets are into the blockchain is going down for some reason, well, obviously also the total value locked into the chain will go down. Right now we are seeing this organic growth, and it's something that is really positive. But why it is happening right now? Well, mainly because the whole narrative about layer 2s on Ethereum is growing a lot. And on the other side, also for the airdrop. Plus, we are seeing protocols that are really hyped like GMX that are pushing the interest on the Arbitrum blockchain. Not to mention that there are also other projects like, for example, I want to show you this one, Camelot. That is a project, personally speaking, I like it a lot. This is a DEX, it's allowing you to trade, so swap from one token to the other one. It is offering you yield farming. It is having also a launch pool, a launch pad here. You can create your farm and so on. It is offering you many different and advanced strategies and ways to manage your tokens. So this is a pretty cool DEX. The point is that if you have to choose if to invest into a protocol or not, you need to understand also which is the overall situation, because new players will come into, not to mention that you have also to remember that we are still talking about a market that is quite already full of competitors. Just remember that Camelot has to compete with Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap, all big players, or Trader Joe's, SpookySwap, players that are having much longer history. Just to give you an idea, the fully diluted valuation of Camelot, a Trader Joe, or SpookySwap are quite close, even if Trader Joe and SpookySwap are having a much longer history. I'm not here to say invest or not invest in Camelot. Is something that to me doesn't change anything. I want to just show you how you should think. Start comparing the market cap, not just the circulating supply, but also the fully diluted market cap. Obviously, if your goal is a long-term goal, if your idea is, I want to bet on this asset because I think that in the long term it will grow, well, you need to think taking in consideration also the fully diluted valuation. Another story, if you want to just take advantage for a short-term trend, that's super fine. But in that case, the fully diluted valuation, that's something that we don't care. But what we care is the trend price, supports, resistances, and so on. So according to which is your goal, you have also to change your strategy. Understood that, the other thing that you should start thinking about is, okay, we have Arbitrum. It is an amazing technology. It is growing a lot. It is updating continuously its own stack, tech stack, and so on. But what's the future? Because right now, everyone from all the layer ones are going to use Arbitrum. And that's the reason why in the moment when we are talking about TVL on DeFi, you are seeing that in this moment, Arbitrum is just behind Ethereum, that is having around 30 billion. After that, we have Binance with just 5 billion, Tron with another 5, and Arbitrum with 2. So we are almost close. We need obviously to double, but from 2 billion to 5 billion, it's not so big difference. If you think about it, we had a time when Binance Smart Chain had more than 20 billion. So that's a big difference. Arbitrum, even while the whole market was dumping, it is still growing. So it is showing us that it's quite strong in this moment, and it's having more TVL than Polygon, just to give you an idea, almost double of Polygon. But what's the future? Because that's the big question. And in order to understand it, we need to think about what is driving this kind of bull run. It is just hype, or it is something else. In my opinion, at the moment, is more hype than anything else. And I'm saying that not because I don't like Arbitrum. I have been one of the first users, literally, was using from the beginning Arbitrum, and I like it. The point is that right now there is all the narrative about it. But we have to remember that the biggest narrative that will come when it comes to layer 2, and yes, it's not yet ready, but it will come. And this narrative is about ZK rollups. If you want to know more about ZK rollups, I will leave you a couple of resources where you can go through. The main difference between a ZK rollup and an optimistic rollup, is the technology that is used by Arbitrum, is that an optimistic is saying, okay, I suppose that all the transactions are good, and in a second moment, if someone checking the transactions will tell me, okay, this transaction looks suspicious, maybe it's time to check it because it could be wrong. If this is the case, in that moment they will intervene and they will change it, correcting the mistake. When it comes to the zero knowledge, it means that there is not this kind of process. The kind of time to verify a single transaction, it is happening immediately. Do you remember that in order to go from a layer 2 to the mainnet, you need to wait around 7 days, just because this is the process that should be done. When it comes to zero knowledge, this is something that is not needed for the simple reason zero knowledge means that they are using an algorithm to verify that all the information are correct. Zero knowledge simply means I don't need to know anything else than just the formula, and I will use it to calculate, to verify just through a mathematical process. So as you can understand, there is a big difference. And I'm thinking, or at least this is my bet, my personal bet, feel free to say disagree with my opinion, that in the moment when this technology will be ready, well, the whole attention will shift from Arbitrum, Optimism, or any other layer 2 solution to this kind of layer 2s. We are talking about Starkware, also Polygon, Matic is going into that direction, and there are ZK Sync and many other companies that are going with ZK rollups. Each of them is using different ways of it, but the whole point is that the ZK technology, this is something that will become a big narrative soon. Obviously, there are still a couple of challenges to be solved from the tech point of view, and that's the big question, how long it will take. It will take some months, 1 year, or a couple of years. It's not easy to answer. Probably it will take some time, at least to see the whole ecosystem using with some kind of level of maturity these projects. But I guess that even earlier than the whole maturity of the technology, we will see a first big wave of hype on projects that are going to into that direction. I'm thinking that at the beginning of the next bull run, this is something that could happen. What I mean with next bull run, we are not yet in a bull run. This is just a bear market rally. We need at least to break 25, and after that see what is happening with the macroeconomic, plus how the whole market is reacting. Will we be able to stay above 25? Will we be able to break also 30K? Well, in that case, yes. The whole market will change, more attention, more capital, more funds will flow into the ecosystem, and in that moment probably a big bull run will start. Until that moment we are still just in a correction. And I guess that in the next future, when the market will allow it and also tech will come, ZK could become a big trend. So I'm saying that because in the moment when it comes to Arbitrum, we have seen Camelot, GMX and so on. They are all good, but in this moment they are pumping much more due to the narrative for Arbitrum, Layer 2 Ethereum and the airdrop, much more than for their own value. And narratives are changing fast. If you want to see something for the long term, at least medium, check out how long that project has been into the market and which kind of direction it's taking. Because the market is fast and can change exactly fast as it is changing. But let me know, because I'm curious, what is your idea? Do you think that Arbitrum will be really the one who will win the layer 2 fight, or this is something that is just hype for a single moment? Obviously, nothing is preventing Arbitrum to add some kind of ZK tech in the next future to their own tech stack, evolving it with a big update or whatever it is. I don't know, it is just a speculation. This is just a hypothesis. What I'm saying is that, remember guys, the market is changing fast and you need to be prepared for that. I'm not saying that something will fail or something will succeed, because it's something that nobody knows. What we know is that narratives are changing and we need to be ready for the next shift and not just fall in love with a single project, because that's normal. Specifically if you are at the beginning, you are starting with something that is cool, you are feeling great using that stuff, and you say, wow, I'm thinking that this will succeed for the long term, I want to buy, I want to hold, and so on. The reality is that, well, especially when it comes to DeFi and blockchains, they are changing fast, and you need to be ready to jump on top of the next big horse that is able to win the race. Guys, let me know what is your favorite one, what is your opinion about ZK rollups, which is your favorite project when it comes to ZK rollups, because there are so many. Maybe you are also missing something. Feel free to share it into the comment section below. And guys, don't forget to leave us also a big thumbs up, drop a comment, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye guys.